What's going on, world? Welcome to Clearing the Wreckage podcast. It's the voice and your host, Kareem A. Rashid. Yes. Hey, I don't know what you're doing right now. You could be on the toilet. You could be getting off the toilet. Hell, you could be wiping your tushy for all I know. All I know is that I'm ready, and I hope that you are ready to clear the wreckage. Yes, indeed. What's up, Wreckage Clearers? What's going on? We are back for another great episode. I done walked into the coffee shop. Listen, I'm the same person. Ain't nothing changed. Hey, what's up, barista? Hey, can I get my cafe Americano, please? Hey, you know what, Kareem? We already made it for you. Here it is up on the counter. Thank you. Thank you so much. What's going on? Let's have a seat. Let's talk. Let's converse. How have you been? I've been good. Well, I got to continue sharing the story with you. And again, I'm sharing the story with you. Everything lines up. So remember last week, I talked to you about the gift of desperation. Then I finally decided to try this support group out. And so I want to talk about that. And I want to share this whole concept with you. The concept is 1 day at a time. Yep, that's what we're going to talk about today. 1 day at a time. Because truthfully, that is all we have is 1 day at a time, but I did not know that back then. And so let me share this story with you. So first, when I decided to go to the support group, I was already feeling like a screw up, y'all. Yep. And you're probably like, man, well, wait, didn't you become aware of everything and acknowledge and admit and accept that you screwed up and everything? Yeah, I did. But this is why I felt like a screw up. Okay, because I was looking back and thinking about all the times I walked into this group before. Yep, you heard me say it. Yep, I walked into this group before. Yeah, I tried it several times, and it was during the time of my relapse when I just kept reaching for the bottle that long, extended period of time. So let me explain a little bit further for y'all, right? So, see, I was still trying. Now, I did explain to you in one of these conversations before the disease of addiction and how it works and everything like that, so you can just get a little bit more of an understanding of it. But let me tell you something. This is what happened. I kept going back to the insanity of reaching for the bottle. Yep, I had my moments where I would go to many different rooms or support groups. In recovery, we call it rooms. I'm used to saying that. Sorry about that. So we'll just keep saying support group, right? Because that's all it really and truly is. It's a support group. Anyway, I would go in there after I would drink, all the while promising myself I will not drink again, and I would confess to the whole group. And even after the meeting, I would pick up what we would call a surrender chip, or better known as a white chip. And white, that color represents, what does the color white represents? Well, it represents a clean slate, a fresh start, a new beginning, right? It represents purity. This is also a concept that they used in war, where they would raise a white flag, which is a sign or indication of surrender. So that's what I did. I picked up a lot of these white chips, by the way, indicating that, hey, I'm surrendering, right? So I got a bunch of those. Anyway, so I got a lot. When I say a lot, I got a lot. Anyway, so I tried this group out before, right? Obviously, when I tried it, we already know I wasn't desperate enough at that time to completely surrender and completely put down the drink. But at this point in my life, I became desperate enough. And this is the reason I felt like a screw up. And I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'm going to tell you straight up. Here's why I felt like a screw up. Because all the times I went to this place and I confessed to the group and I picked up a white chip, and, promising things would be different. I promise I will not walk in here again and just pick up a white chip and then 2 days later come back and pick up a white chip, or then the next day pick up a white chip. I promise I can change. I'll be different. I won't drink it. You know how many times I promised myself that? Woo, so many times. And then I'm going up in there promising the whole group that I won't show my face picking up a white chip. This is going to be the last time. Man. Oh. So that's why I felt like a screw up, y'all. I was like, nah, I ain't finna show my face over there. Nah, I don't want to be judged by these people. Nah, man, they gonna kick me out of this place. They gonna be like, man, all you do is come here each day and pick up a white chip. Are you really serious about putting down a drink? I thought that they were going to judge me, but truthfully what I found out is I was really judging myself. That's what I was judging. That's the judgment that I was placing upon myself. When I walked in there, all I received was love and acceptance. I kid you not. That was it. Love, acceptance, and comfort. I finally walked in there regardless of my feelings. Thank God I did. Woo, because I was desperate enough and I was willing to try anything. And what I found to be so comforting was someone telling me after that meeting, they said, one day at a time. I was like, yeah, one day at a time. Then they said, all you have to do, Kareem, is get through this day without taking a drink. And you know what? I didn't even think about it like that. And that really helped me because I was hearing from people in that meeting place. There were people in that support group that had 1 month. I only had, I think, 2 days before I walked in there. There were people that had 2 months, 3 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 17, 20, 25, 30. Yeah. Of recovery, 30 years of sobriety and recovery. That had me feeling quite overwhelmed, don't you think? Yeah. So I was like, how? Whoa, no. How am I going to make it 1 month without even taking a drink? Better yet, 2 or 9 or 1 or 2 years or even 30 years? No, oh no, I couldn't imagine my life for an hour or maybe even 30 minutes without drinking. Yeah, I put together a couple of days, but I was in so much fear that I was going to probably reach for the drink soon. Like, I've never went this long. Like, I'm going this long without drinking. Like, this is scary, right? Because let me tell you again, let me break it down for you again. As a person who suffered with a disease of addiction and alcoholism, all I did every day was drink all throughout the day. And whenever I felt pain and whenever I felt something, yes, I reached for the bottle. Remember, I was just like baby. And I don't care if I have a lick of money, if I have a penny to my name. I walked right into that store and I grabbed what I needed to grab out the cooler and walked out like nothing happened. Yep, that's what I did. And you're probably like, that's insane. That is crazy. And my response to you is, yep. That's crazy. Yeah, that's insanity for you, right? It makes no sense. But anyway, once I heard that saying, one day at a time, it gave me hope to get through the day. And only that day. Then it helped me focus on the now or the present moment, right? And for me, in the beginning stages, it was like, you know what? I'm going to this place. I might as well just stick around. Because if I wander off too far, I'm probably going to go reach for the bottle. Let me just stick around this area and wait for the next meeting. And that's exactly what I did my first day being there. I stuck around because all I had to do was get through that day without taking a drink. And I just said, well, this will make things much easier if I just hang around this area. So that's what I did. And because in my mind, I was thinking about how I screwed up in the past. And then I was thinking about how I am about to screw up in the future. Yep, you hear that? Anxiety comes from thinking about the past, and anxiety comes from thinking about the future, not being in the present. So one of the great things about hearing that person tell me one day at a time is that it kept me focused on the present. Yes. I literally was focused on each moment. Here's this moment. All I have to do is not drink. Here's the next moment. All I have to do is not drink. And then I was praying, and then I was filled with gratitude for each passing moment because, man, I got through that moment, and I was like, whoo, thank you, God, for getting me through that moment. Then next thing you know, I had a full 24 hours without taking a drink or reaching for a drug. That was victory, my friends. Woo! And that victory gave me hope for the next 24 hours, right? All I had to do was get through the next day without taking a drink, and so forth and so on. And these small victories, well, they weren't that small for me. However, these victories gave me hope, courage, and faith. And these three things increased throughout my days. Yes. Now let's dig just a little bit deeper in how it helped me clear the wreckage, because the wreckage was in my mind. Again, I was thinking about the past or the future. I was feeling overwhelmed when I saw the others with months or years of sobriety or recovery, and I was feeling anxious and afraid. Ooh, man, which is something that I didn't allow myself to feel in the past, because whenever I felt that way, well, you know, I couldn't take it. So I reached for the drink. Remember, just like baby needs to be at ease, so baby needs that bottle because baby's crying and yelling because they irritated. The bottle helps soothe, right? So that was me, as it was with me. That's what I did, right? So here's more into how the concept of one day at a time helps. It helps by focusing the attention on the present, making those large, overwhelming challenges feel more manageable. The large, overwhelming challenge. What was it for me? What was it for you, Kareem, is what you might ask. That large, overwhelming challenge was, man, this person has 30 days. I only got 2. Oh, my God. Man, this person has 1 year. I only have 2 days. Oh, my God. Oh, this person has 30. Oh, my God. Wait a second, I got to go my whole life? Wait, this person is like 75 years old, it looks like. Like, how in the heck? Wait a second, they're going the rest of their life without drinking? Like, wait a second. I don't know about that, right? So one day at a time helped me focus on the present, making that large and overwhelming challenge feel more manageable. I was like, you know what? One day at a time. I don't have to focus on 30 days. I don't have to focus on 30 years. All I have to focus on is today, right? So by staying in the moment, it reduces anxiety over the future and regret about the past, and it promotes patience, self-care, and incremental progress. It reduces anxiety and the overwhelm. One day at a time also breaks down those large, overwhelming, breaks down those large goals. That's what I was trying to say. Those large, overwhelming goals. You know, they seem overwhelming. You know, this goal of like, man, well, I want to make it 30 days. It breaks that down because I don't have to look at 30 days. All I have to look at is today, right? Because I was filled with anxiety and overwhelmed because I was looking at those people that had a year or, 2 years or 3 years or all the above, 30 years without taking a drink or a drug for that long. I couldn't do it. I was like, nope, one day is great. So like I stated, the concept of one day at a time helped me remain in the day. It also helped me remember that a day is only 24 hours. Most likely for 8 of those, I'll be asleep. This is how I broke it down. I was like, man, for 8 of those, I'll probably be asleep. Wait, so then all I have to do is go 16 hours without taking a drink? Wait, but I work for like 8 or 9 hours. Oh, man, so I only really got like 8 hours to just not drink. I think I can do that. So all I had to do was focus on the next 24 hours, which breaks down the journeys into a series of achievable day-sized pieces. That's what it did for me. Those achievable day-sized pieces are 8 hours I'll be asleep, 8 hours I'll be working. 8 hours, all I have to do is not drink. Right? Which then, of course, helped me feel less overwhelmed and more capable of taking action. Yeah, I can do this. I believe. Which then gives me hope. I'm going to talk about that. That's what that gave me. That's where that word comes in. Remember I said 3 things increase day by day. The first one was hope. Also, this concept, one day at a time, helped me to accept. Man, you know what? I did mess up in the past, but I can't change that, and directed my energy toward what I can control, which is now or in the present, right? Courage, right? Serenity, right? You know the serenity prayer. You know part of it. And also what helped me is that we prayed that prayer in that meeting. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I was praying that prayer every moment of the day. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. I can't change the past. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can. I can change right now. I cannot reach for the bottle. I cannot go to the store. I don't even have to walk into the store. That gave me courage, right? It also minimized my worry about the future one day at a time, encourages me to stay grounded. It encouraged me to stay grounded by focusing on the immediate challenge, man. You know what? Which was only just getting through that moment without taking a drink, which gave me faith. Right? It helped me believe, man, you know what? I can get through this moment, then I can get to the next one. If I can get through that moment, then I can get through the next one. And then my faith increase. It also helps practice, helped me, I should say, practice mindfulness. It helped me to focus on that present moment, as I just stated. And then it helped me to enjoy the moment as I was focusing on my breathing and the fact that I have life and all my senses are working. Oh my God. When I tell you that I never really knew how great it was to breathe until I started breathing in and out, and I started noticing and recognizing my breath, and I was like, oh my God, this is so mysterious. Like, how am I even breathing? First of all, how am I even here? How do I even have another chance at this? After all the times I've screwed up, I get another chance at this, and I still have breath in my lungs. As long as I have breath, I have hope, which gives me courage, then gives me faith to continue on with the journey. Yes! Woo! It also helped me become intentional. I became intentional about my day. I surrounded my day with recovery. I was like, you know what? My whole day needs to be based around recovery. Yeah, I got to work at this time, but before that, in the morning time, it's going to a recovery meeting, and in the afternoon, it's going to a recovery meeting until I have to go to work, right? That's what I did. So I became intentional about the next 24 hours. And like I said earlier, I got through that first day. I got through the next day and so forth and so on. And after getting through that first day, which was the hardest, but it built up more momentum and more confidence and motivation to continue and get through the next day. And the next thing you know, hey, guess what? I am here doing Clearing the Wreckage podcast with you 9.5 years later, still taking it one day at a time. So let me ask you a question. What is it that has you feeling overwhelmed? Because really and truthfully, that is the question at hand, because that was what was going on with me. I was feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling like a screw up. No, I ain't finna walk into this building with all these people judging me like, oh, he's been trying so many times. All he did was pick up all these white chips. He just keeps going back in and out and in and out and in and out. He keeps reaching for the drink. He's not serious about this. All these people are going to judge me. It's going to be hellfire and brimstone. They're going to kick me out. They're going to tell me to find another group. Right? Then I'm looking at all these people with 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, so forth and so on. Oh my God, 30 years. Oh, I got to go my whole life without taking a drink or a drug? No, man, I can't do that. Overwhelm. So what is it for you that has you feeling overwhelmed? That's what I am asking for you to write down. That's what I'm asking you to journal about. What is it that has you feeling overwhelmed. Is it a significant life change? It could be a new job you're about to enter into. Oh man, I've never done this type of work before. I get the opportunity to do it. I might mess up. I might screw up. The boss may be a jerk. Right? Or it could be a breakup. Oh man, I was with this person for 3 years. I don't know what it's like to be alone, to live a day by myself without being tied to this person. It could be trauma. It could be the feeling of abandonment, that I suffered with. Man, getting into something and just kept constantly thinking that, man, this person is going to leave me. They're not going to stay put. Whatever it is, they just got to stay there for 24 hours. If you're thinking that way with abandonment, that is. And I'm not trying to make light of that. I just was giving an example. But truthfully, all you have is today. And all you have to do is get through the day. And before I leave you, let me let you in on a little secret. Every single day, I don't know if I shared this already, every single day is called today. Yesterday is fictional. Tomorrow is fictional. You know why? Because you don't wake up today and go, it's tomorrow. No. And you don't wake up today and go, it's yesterday. No. There's no such thing as those days do not exist. And also, every day on the calendar, every day ends in day. In English, at least. Every day ends in day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every day is today. So all you have is today. Might want to write that down. Write that down. Yesterday is fictional. Tomorrow is fictional. They do not exist at all. At all. There's no such thing. All you have is today. Anyway, I hope this helps you in terms of dealing with life, in terms of clearing the wreckage. Whether it be past trauma, whether it be divorce, whether it be a breakup, whether it be even trying to find a job. You know what? I have 24 hours to find a job. Actually, I don't. All I have to do is go look. Let me rephrase that. You do have 24 hours in a day. But you can break it down into increments. 8 hours I'm going to be sleeping. So all I have really is 8 to 10 hours to be putting in job applications. What if it's something like this? What if it's something that your boss gives you all these tasks throughout the day and you're just overwhelmed? You're feeling overwhelmed. Man, I got all this stuff to do. There's no way I'm going to be able to complete all these tasks. Then why don't you take the word day out and replace it with thing, one thing at a time? I still do that till this day. When I feel overwhelmed, I go, you know what? One thing at a time, Kareem. I can only accomplish one task at a time. I cannot do multiple tasks at a time. You may think you're a multitasker, but I can't, at least, because when I start to multitask, I get overwhelmed. And I'm about clearing the wreckage, so I don't want to feel that way. How can I focus on the present? How can I be mindful? How can I practice patience with myself and self-care and compassion toward myself? The only way I can do that is by doing one thing at a time and accomplishing that one task. Then achieving that goal and achieving that victory and celebrating it. Woo! I got that done. Yes! Then I can move on to the next. It could be something that you have going on at the house. You're building something. You're doing something. You're like, I got all this stuff I got to do. I got all this stuff I got to do. I got to get this done. Man, my wife is going to kill me if I don't get this done. Your wife's not going to kill you. That's the overwhelmed feeling, and that's the pressure that you put on yourself. How about you can only do one thing at a time? Then if you even want to go a little bit deeper and break it down into more increments, why don't you take the word day or thing out and put one moment at a time, just like I did and just like I shared with you. Either way, give your best today. And you can only give your best by allowing yourself to practice this concept one day at a time. That is how you can be mindful and aware of your surroundings, aware of what's going on in your mind. If you're trying to think about all these other things, well, this person at my job has, just got promoted and I never get promoted. Am I ever going to get promoted? Well, this person does this and that. If you're comparing yourself and if you're in the past, you're regretting all the mistakes that you made, or if you're in the future thinking that, I'm going to start this job and I'm probably not going to do that well, then you're not giving your best today. You're not giving your best 24 hours. It's time to clear the wreckage. Clearing the wreckage means let's take the time to look inside. Let's see what's going on in our minds and in our hearts. And if we don't have time to do that, if we're not taking the time to be intentional with our days, with our moments, then we can't clear the wreckage. And we can't become the best version of ourselves today to go through that full 24 hours. Remember, we're about clearing the wreckage here. We don't escape anymore. We don't escape. We become intentional about life. What can I do in this moment right here that helps me think better, that changes my mindset, that takes away the anxiety, reduces the stress, and reduces the overwhelmed feeling? What gives me hope? What gives me courage, and what gives me faith? I just shared a whole episode with you about that. So don't forget, take notes on this, journal about what I just shared with you, and let's continue to clear the wreckage together. Hey, as I always leave you, take some time to look inside so that the wreckage can begin to clear. Peace.